Welcome back, everyone. I believe this is part 4 of the Epic Drawer of Randomness display, where I show you the game cases and I give you my opinion. Of course, my modern day games are kept in this giant CD booklet. I think you can store nearly 400 games, or 364, I think, if you want to be exact. Regardless, let's see what lies in these drawers. We have Dragon Age here, Dragon Age Origins, which was the first Dragon Age. This game was made by BioWare, and it is similar to Mass Effect in regards where Mass Effect takes place in the future, but this takes place in the past, and I always love the medieval times. I thought that medieval games are excellent. I mean, if you want to succeed, the combat is relatively slow paced because it is an RPG where you constantly have to pause time to use your magic or heal. So it was not as innovative as hack and slash, but if you like those strategic games with the hack and slash elements and the excellent story mode element, then Dragon Age would be the game for you, and you could probably get it for a relatively low price. You could probably get all these games for a relatively low price. Most of them came out in 2007 or 8, or possibly 9. Here is the Turok. I came with a t-shirt when I pre-ordered it. It's a decent FPS. You could kill a bunch of dinosaurs, you could fight against a bunch of dinosaurs, and random guys with guns. Why is it decent? Because it's opposed to the originality of the Turok series. They really haven't changed the game that much. So if you're a hardcore Turok fan, then you can expect to get a thrill out of this generic game. This generic Turok game. I think that was a most recent Turok game in the series. Here's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. This is by far probably the best Call of Duty. I used to think Black Ops was the best Call of Duty, but I changed my mind. The reason why Black Ops was amazing was because the recoil was relatively low, but even though Black Ops has relatively low recoil, this game has excellent perks that are not included in the most recent Call of Duty, such as Juggernaut and Martyrdom. And Martyrdom is where you throw a grenade when you die, which helps your KD spread remain positive, and you could possibly break even and get a kill despite dying. So this game has amazing perks. If you want to play a game with all the features before they're removed, I recommend Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. This is my first game I ever got for the Xbox 360. I didn't get a game when I originally bought my Xbox 360, but I wound up getting this in the future. And this game is just unbelievable. It's too bad that they shut down the online servers, but you could play as the goblins, the dwarves, the elves, the men, Isengard, or Mordor. There's 6 armies. I think I just listed those 6. Let me just double check. Elves, men, dwarves, Isengard, Mordor, goblins. And there we go. You could have a ton of heroes. This is an RTS. The controls are fluid. You could even just destroy somebody with Legolas and Gimli if you guys are well coordinated and are quick to react. And you could have powers which could summon the army of the dead, which could heal your heroes, give you guys attack bonus, summon a lone tower, summon an extra fortress. Just a bunch of excellent features. This game has the elements of strategy and has a theme of Lord of the Rings persona engraved in the culture of this game. Mass Effect, similar to Dragon Age. I think it came out before Dragon Age. The difference is this game probably has a more involved story because it was BioWare's first step into making a RPG in a while. I think prior to this they made Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, but this was their first attempt to release their own series that portrays a fantasy world in the future rather than just following the Star Wars lore. And Mass Effect has an excellent story mode, and it's a great RPG with character interaction where you could get allies similar to Kingdom Hearts, but it's a lot more in depth and a lot more involved. I remember there was a part where I had to look up on the internet, and a bunch of other people did, when you had to figure out this code, and if you couldn't figure that out, you couldn't get past it. I don't know how somebody's supposed to know the code, but there may possibly have been clues throughout the game that inform you of clues to finding out the code. But essentially, if you want to play this game, there's no casual way around it. Especially if you're playing the hardest difficulty, you need to pay attention to minute details if you want to solve the codes and find out how to defeat your opponents, because this game is no walk in the park. Try it in the hardest difficulty and you'll see what I mean. Here's Star Wars: A Complete Saga. This one has those 6 of them, so it was much better than the trilogy, a lot more content, a Lego Star Wars game, a fun game to mess around in. We could replay the levels as nearly any Star Wars character. Here's Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. I never got far enough to do any of the major duels, but for a movie game it's adequate if you can get it for a couple of dollars here or there. But at the time though, I got this because there weren't too many new games released for the Xbox 360. And in my opinion, despite terrible movie games compared to today's games, these were the games that integrated newer technology and the more action-based games compared to what was released in 2006 and 2007, which is not a lot. It's really in 2011 where they started pushing the Xbox 360 and coming out with all these games rapidly, and before then as well. But in the beginning, when the Xbox 360 was released, there were barely any games for it, and barely any games that had Xbox Live, and the ones they had were terrible in my opinion. So even when the games that I got were just terrible compared to the games today, that was probably one of the better games out of the selection. Here's Call Up Saga. It's a turn-based game with dynamic maps where you use magic. It's a bit similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! With the cards destroying one another. And this is a relatively rare game. Here's Dark Messiah. Magic, Might and Magic Elements. This game at Xbox Live where you can play as different classes. It's an okay game just to mess around in. Nothing spectacular or anything. Just another game where you utilize powers. Bomberman was probably one of my first games I got for the Xbox 360. This game had a bird's eye view perspective and a third person perspective, and it upheld itself to the original Bomberman concept, where you would just essentially move in a square map and strategically try to avoid the bombs and kill your opponents before they kill you. Again, an excellent game, but you can't find anybody online today. Here is Mew, our Marvel Ultimate Alliance. This game was amazing. It still was amazing. You could play as 4 Marvel heroes and fight other Marvel villains. I beat this game. You fight Galactus at the end. There's a image of him. And for pre-internet, it came with Silver Server. I went to Circuit City and I was going to get it there. And I remember the guy managed to get the last copy was a pre-order bonus, or I think the last copy that they had, and then I probably wound up getting this at GameStop or Best Buy. And if you got it at Circuit City, I think in addition to getting the Silver Surfer DLC, you also got the game, the X-Men Movie 3 game. So I watched him get it, and I was just disappointed that I couldn't get that deal, but at least I got the Silver Surfer DLC, so it was the second best opportunity. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. These are older games. You should be able to get them for a relatively low price. With the exception of Shadowrun and Modern Warfare 4, they're not mind-boggling or they're not revolutionary today as they were back then. But if you can manage to get them for relatively low prices, I highly recommend getting all, if not most of them. Actually, you don't get War Tech, which I showed earlier in Chrome has. The other games, you could get them for $5, and you could get this whole stash here for. Here's some more of them. If you could get them for $5, you get this whole stash for, let's just say, $200 to $300. I mean, I personally think it's worth it. But what you can do is you could wait. You could wait until you go into there's a promotion where there's buy one get one free, or buy two get one free, and where you stack coupons, and then you manage to get these games for at the most $200 for all of them. Then it wouldn't be a bad deal. But if you're hunting these games down in pristine condition on eBay or something for $60 or $50 each, then I don't recommend doing that. And once again, here's a quick recap. Some of these are movie games, and a lot of these games came out when the Xbox 360 was relatively new, within the first 3 or 4 years of its release. The oldest game that may be in here is from 2009. Actually, Uncharted 2 may have come out before then. Probably not, though. And I'm just roundly putting them back. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm signing out.